Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Beating the Odds. It is Sunday, December 15th, 2024. We are back with our NFL best bets of the day. If you're new to the channel, my name is Zach, and welcome to Beating the Odds. Let's recap yesterday's results. So, yesterday, we had, Thursday, for the NFL was our last day we could bet for the NFL. We went 3-1. Members only best bet, Bills, plus 2.5. Everyone in their mother was on the Dolphins. All the suckers were on the Dolphins. We were not. We had the Bills. Easy dub, never a doubt. Even before Tua's concussion, he looked horrible, and the Bills just had him round the entire game. Easy dub. Under 49.5, Buffalo, Miami. Not sure how we got under this number. I don't care, though. We got the dub. You love to see that. James Cook over 82.5. Rush plus receiving yards is basically free. And we had Waddle over 4.5 catches. He ended at 4, so that was kind of tough. It wasn't a blowout. I think he easily gets over that number. But guys, on the members only front, we're at 10-1 combined NFL and college football members only best bet run. You know where to get all those members only best bets. And we have a huge video today. We have 5 members only best bets, but we have 6 plays I'm going to give you guys here on YouTube today. But if you're new to the channel and you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, like this video, hit notification bell so you never miss a pick. We post these NFL videos every single day that the NFL is on, along with college football. We went 7-3 in college football yesterday, 4-0 on members only best bets, and one of the losses we had for the free plays was a 0.5 unit play. That's it. So it was really like a 3-1 in one day for 3-2 in one day. For free bets, and really 7-2 in one overall. Also, the MLB went 3-1 in that yesterday as well. The NBA and NHL, and those are back on. We're going after 15,000 subscribers, so I'm really excited to have y'all here. Let's go win together today. Let's go make some money. So let's jump into plays that we have. Like I said, I have 6 free plays for you guys, 5 members only best bets. But let's jump into the free plays. We got first play, we're going with the Jaguars, -3 versus the Browns. As long as Deshaun is the quarterback for this team, they're going nowhere. And they're going to go 0-2 today. Myles Garrett is going to play today, but he's not 100%. He's hurt. It can limit him today. Doesn't seem like a serious injury, but it will limit his effectiveness. And when you're talking about Myles Garrett, any little edge you can get counts. And Njoku's not going to play either, so Deshaun's best weapon is out. And the Browns, their weapons right now are overrated. Amari Cooper's good. Other than that, I don't really see much. I don't really see it. Chubb's still out, obviously, with the pup. They're decimated injury-wise. And you have Deshaun fucking Watson at quarterback. He's so bad. And I don't know how he got this bad, given how good he was in 2021. I know he said out in 2022. But even so, he was so good, and he just looks like, the shell of himself would be, nice to say. He's just completely not himself anymore. And the Jags, on the other hand, looked great last week. And if ETN doesn't fumble the ball on the 1 yard line against the Dolphins, they're up 24-3, and they blow out the Dolphins in Miami. And so that fumble happens, and then the next play, I think either the next play or the play after that, they throw a bomb to Tyreek, 80-yard touchdown. Now it's 17-10. The game's completely different. And Trevor should be able to have as good of a game as Dak. Given the fact that Trevor Lawrence is actually better than Dak Prescott. Don't argue. You know it's true. He's better. He'll have as good a game as Dak did last week. Since he's at home, Dak was on the road with better weapons. They've got, CeeDee's better than whoever. CeeDee Lamb is better than whatever the Jags have. But after that, the Jags have better weapons in every single spot. Burns, by the way, was a great replacement for Calvin Ridley, the receiver from LSU. But Trevor's got deeper weapons, better running back, better, I think, just as good of a line. And the Jags defense actually pretty good last week. Outside of, if they go up 24-3, this game's completely different. I think that was a little bit of a gut punch. The Jags are on a bounce back. They're at home, and the Browns look like shit. I understand that why is it only -3? It's because of all the talent that the Jags have defensively. But the fact is that Deshaun Watson is still the quarterback. So give me Jags -3 versus the Browns here today. Next, we're with the Vikings, +4.5 versus the Niners. This is a field goal game in my estimation. First things first, the Niners are on the road without McCaffrey. McCaffrey's out for 4 games. And I'm not saying that they're like, oh my God, Jordan Mason, what the fuck, he's so bad. I don't think that's the case, but Christian McCaffrey was the AP Offensive Player of the Year last year. That will leave a hole eventually. And the Vikings have a sharp coach in Kevin McConnell who's going to be able to scheme up plays to make this Niners defense look a little bit less than superhuman, because last week with Nat Hackett's scheme, who Nat Hackett, by the way, had May, June, July, August, and a week in September. So basically 4 months and a week to prepare for this Niners team, and that was the best they can do. That was like Nat Hackett is the definition of a moron, the Jets OC and old Broncos head coach. And the fact is that the Vikings have a way better coach that will be able to scheme, like I said, scheme things up to make it look a lot better than what the Jets did. Darnold also, the other thing that is very underrated here, Sam Darnold can actually move. Rodgers could not move. Like Rodgers was a statue. And when you're playing against the Niners team that can rush the passer like they can, you've got to be able to run. And Sam Darnold can run. Now, granted, he did play on the Niners last year. They know his tendencies. But here's the thing. Darnold also knows their tendencies. And the fact is the Vikings have a deeper receiving core than the Jets do. The Jets have Garrett Wilson, who's fantastic. Other than that, I don't really have much. The Vikings have a very deep receiving core, even with Jordan Addison out. And this game is going to be a field goal game one way or the other because the Vikings defense looked great last week. They're at home, and I get 4.5 points. And by the way, this number was 5.5 earlier this week. This number's been bet down, yet the public is heavy on the Niners. So give me the Vikings plus 4.5 versus the Niners here today. Next one, the Broncos, +3 versus Steelers. Most books is at +2.5, but DraftKings, I got it on DraftKings at +3. The Steelers offense looked like shit against a mediocre Falcons defense. They had 6 field goals. That's what they had. They had 6 field goals. And that was against the Falcons defense that isn't that good. I also thought the Broncos defense looked way better than I thought it was going to look. I gave the Broncos, we had the Seahawks -5.5 last week. It hit, obviously. But I thought the Broncos defense looked really solid against the Seahawks team. And, I mean, they had 2 safeties. I mean, I've never seen a team get 2 safeties in my life. I've been watching football for over 20 years. The Steelers also are limited they're limited offensively. George Pickens is a good receiver, but Pat Surtain will be able to match up with him. Other than that, I mean, they got Freiermuth. I mean, that's about it. Najee Harris, again, runs like he's got, like, jeans on. And Bo Nix, I thought looked pretty good. He had 1 really bad interception, but the dude threw like 43 times. Only had 1 interception. So I'm okay with that. And you're going to be at home this time. And he was playing in Seattle, which is one of the toughest places in the entire world to play. And they were within 6 points, and they could have won that game. Sean Payton actually also likes Bo Nix, unlike Russell Wilson, which I totally understand, by the way. And he'll be able to, I mean, and they've also dealt, I mean, I think he'll be able to, make this Steelers defense look less than superhuman, like I said about the Niners with the Vikings. And I think the Broncos win this game. They're at home. They have the elevation. The Steelers have got to travel 2 times in 2 weeks. They've got a new quarterback. Justin Fields is not a good thrower of the football, which is what he's going to need to do against this Broncos defense. Give me the Broncos +3 versus the Steelers. I think they win this game outright, but I am going to take the points. Next, go with the Ravens, -8.5 versus the Raiders. I'm going to swallow this. I'm swallowing the points here. The Raiders are going to get smoked. And here's why. Last week was a de facto home game for this Raiders team. When you're playing in LA and the Chargers are playing, you are playing at home. That's just really how it goes if you're an AFC West opponent. The Chargers don't have fans. And it was basically 70% to 30% Raiders fans in that audience last week. And they scored 10 total points total. Like total 10 points. And they looked really bad. They also let up 22 points to a team whose best wide receiver is Ladd McConkey. That's insane. And the Ravens are better at every single position than the Chargers are offensively. They've got just as good of an O-line, better running backs, better receivers, better tight ends. They have 2 great tight ends too, in Andrews and Likely. And the Ravens, and other than maybe quarterbacks, I think Justin Herbert has just been forgotten about. But Lamar's awesome, so I get it. But they're about the same in my estimation. And the Ravens are at home off of a bounce back opportunity where I'm not saying they should have beaten the Chiefs because they shouldn't have, but I mean they were within, like I said, like literally like 2 inches from covering that game at least, if not winning it, because they were going to go for 2, and I think the Ravens probably would have gotten it had they gone for 2. We had the Chiefs in that game, so who cares? But the fact is that they're at home. They're on a bounce-back opportunity off of a mini bye week because they played on last Thursday. I have no idea how the Raiders are going to guard all the weapons the Ravens have, and I don't understand how the Raiders are going to be able to, again, with a defensive coach. I'm not really sure how they're going to be able to penetrate this Ravens defense because this Ravens defense is fucking nasty. Give me the Ravens -8.5 versus Raiders. It's a lot of points, but they're at home versus a trash ass team. Next, go with the Colts -2.5 versus the Packers. Now listen, I understand that I might be walking right into a trap here. I understand it. Vegas may be laying me a trap, but I'm going to walk right into it because personally, I just can't bet on Malik Willis. I just can't do it. I've watched this guy play. When he played for the Titans, he started 3 games. And in those 3 games, he threw for over 100 yards 0 times. He is not a good thrower of the football. I have no idea. And when I say no idea, I have no idea why the Packers traded for him. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. He's so bad. He couldn't even get a pass off for the Hail Mary attempt against the Eagles. And I understand the Packers have a lot of weapons with Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, and Musgrave the tight end. Josh Jacobs running back. I understand it. But here's the thing. Their defense looks horrible versus Philly. And Philly's defense is completely incompetent. Indianapolis has a better defense. They have a comparable offensive line, which the Packers had serious trouble stopping. They have not just as good as Saquon. He's not. Jonathan Taylor's not as good as Saquon, but he's very comparable and he's very, very good. The quarterback's more athletic than Jalen Hurts, and I think he'll throw the ball a lot better than he did against Houston. And on top of that, the Packers. I mentioned the weapons a minute ago. Malik Willis is not going to be able to use those weapons the same way Jordan Love can. And both these teams are traveling because the Packers are coming back from Brazil. They're also distracted the first couple of days of prep because they're trying to deal with the Jordan Love thing, whether he's out for the year, out for a few weeks. Luckily, he's only out for a few weeks. The Colts will win this game. They're going to win this game by a lot. Give me the Colts -2.5 versus the Packers here today. And then I have a for fun bet at the very end. This one is a 0.5 unit play. Tailor at your own risk. I'm only betting because I'm a fan. Well, Redskins money line versus the Giants. Here's the fact. The Giants suck. And my Redskins, I think, actually looked pretty shitty against the Bucs. But the fact is, I think the Bucs are a lot better than people think. However, the Bucs are injury riddled right now. But even so, the Redskins had to go against the full-on might of the Bucs, and the Bucs defense actually looked pretty damn good last week. But again, like damn near half their team's out now. But the fact is that Jaden Daniels is better than any quarterback we have had since Kirk, at least since Kirk Cousins, maybe an RG3, and we're gonna look better than we did last week. So I'm rolling again for fun bet. 0.5 units, tail at your own risk. That's just what I'm doing because we're up in like every single sport. So I'm going to take a flyer here. But give me the Redskins money line versus the Giants here today. Now, like I said, guys, you have 5 members-only best bets. You can get all of our members-only best bets at zdmbets.com/picks. The website is linked in the comments below. As a member, you get all our members-only plays every single day, which was profitable best bets on a day-to-day basis. On top of that, you have a direct line to me. So any game you're considering betting, reach out to our hotline number, get a guaranteed response back. But any game you're considering betting, and you get our free picks too on YouTube sent to you before these videos come out. They'll take advantage of early lines, early odds. That's at zdmbets.com/picks, zdmbets.com/picks, zdmbets.com/picks. So guys, let's go lock in those picks. Let's go win together today. Let's go make some money. I'll see you all tomorrow.